Oh Chanukah, come light the menorah. Let's have a party. We'll all dance the hora. Gather round the table, we'll give you a treat. Sivivon to play with and latkes to eat. And while we are playing, the candles are burning bright. One for each night, they shed a sweet light to remind us of days from long ago. One for each night, they shed a sweet light to remind us of days from long ago. Hello! Happy Hannukah! Well, not yet, but soon Hanukkah is coming! Why am I excited? Well, because Hanukkah's the festival of lights. And it's coming soon. And you know what the best part about Hanukkah is? The presents! No, not the present, but the present. Not the present! I love the presents! Oh, I love presents! Actually, now that I'm an adult, I don't get presents. You see, on Chanukah, which is an 8-day holiday, every night children get presents. Why? I don't know. It's probably because Christmas is around the same time and the Jews don't want the Jewish kids to feel jealous of the Christian kids who get all the presents on one night. And so we decided we're going to create a holiday where there's 8 days of presents just to screw with the Christians. That's not the history at all. I just made that up. It's a joke, okay? We love the Christians. The Jews love the Christians. Hell, you know, the head of your people is one of our people. We're the same people. We're Jews, you're Jews, we're all Jews. Okay, that's not exactly it either, but the point is that Chanukah is coming, and it is a Jewish holiday. It's a strange holiday, like most Jewish holidays. Well, it depends on who you ask, but according to me, a lot of Jewish holidays are strange, and they all tend to revolve around the attempted oppression of the Jews and then the Jewish victory. I'm serious, like all of them. Except for Simchat Torah, which is celebrating the end of the reading of the Torah, and then we start all over again. I digress. The point is, Chanukah is coming, and I'm here to tell you all about Chanukah!
Put on your yarmulke, here comes Hanukkah. So much funukah to celebrate Hanukkah.
So, technically, Chanukah is the celebration of a great victory by some Jewish rebels against a mean Syrian king. About 200 BC, Judea, which was the name of Israel, was run by a Syrian Greek king named Antiochus III. And Antiochus was okay with the Jews. The Jews weren't in love with the fact that he was ruling in Judea, but it was better than having him rule and not let them do their thing, which is what his son, Antiochus IV, did. So when Antiochus III died, his son took over, and he didn't like the Jews so much. He believed that the Jews should be worshiping his gods, which were the Greek gods. And so what did he do? Well, what people like to do to the Jews, which is try and kill them. So in 168 BC, King Antiochus IV sent his troops into Jerusalem, where they desecrated the second holy temple by building an altar to Zeus and slaughtering a bunch of pigs inside the temple walls. Oh yeah, and slaughtering like thousands of Jewish people. But you know, what else is new? People slaughtering Jews. Now the Jews weren't so crazy about all of the slaughtering and pig sacrificing and Zeus worshipping, and so the priest Mattathias and his 5 sons launched a rebellion against King Antiochus IV and his monarchy. And the fighting in Jerusalem lasted so long that eventually Mattathias died and his son Judah Maccabee, or Judah the Hammer, took over. And what happened? Within 2 years, Judah the Maccabee and the Maccabeans, which was the name of his rebellion, his army, beat Antiochus IV, and the Syrians were driven out of Jerusalem, driven out of the temple, and the temple was once again the Jews. And so what do? When you get your temple back, what's the first thing you do? Well, the first thing they did was they rebuilt the altar. They got rid of the Zeus altar. Sorry, Zeus. They cleaned up all the pig sacrificing, and they went to light the menorah. And back then, menorahs were lit with oil. But there was only enough oil for one night because those pesky Syrian Greeks, they got rid of all of the oil, and they could only find enough oil for one night. They said, okay, fine, let's just light the menorah for one night. It's going to take us longer to get more oil for our menorah, but one night is better than nothing. What happened? That oil that was supposed to be for one night lasted 8 nights. How did that happen? How was it possible that this oil for one night lasted 8 nights? It could only be classified as a miracle. It could only be because of Hashem, God, Yahweh. He created this miracle for us. And the Jewish sages proclaimed, we must hold a holiday every year for 8 days, marking this magnificent miracle, marking this great victory, and we will call it Hannukah, which in Hebrew means dedication. And that's the story of Hannukah. Interestingly, you won't find the story of Hannukah in the Torah. Why? Because this all happened after the Torah was written. So it's not in the Torah. It's not in the Old Testament, but you know where it is? In the New Testament. Yeah, there is a section of the New Testament where Jesus attends a feast of dedication, which, as we just learned, is Chanukah, for 8 nights this year, which will take place on the 7th to the 14th of December, based on the Christian calendar. It's the same day every year in the month of Kislev in the Hebrew calendar. Chanukah is called the Festival of Lights, and we light a candle every night. So on the first night we light 1 candle, on the second night we light 2 candles, on the third night we light 3 candles, etc., etc. And we sing songs like the one that I started this video with, and we eat things that contain oil to continue to celebrate the Festival of Light. I don't know why we call it the Festival of Light. I kind of think it should be called either the Festival of Oil or the Festival of beating Antiochus IV, but we call it the Festival of Lights, I guess because it's got a nice ring to it. And we eat things on this special holiday that you make with oil, like potato pancakes, or what we call latkes, or what Polish people call placki ziemniaczane, and sufganiyot, which in English are jam busters or donuts. In Polish are called pączki. It's why when I came to Poland and I saw that people ate potato pancakes year-round, I got confused because I thought it was just a Hanukkah thing, but in Poland, it's an everyday thing if you want it. I gotta tell you, I like the Polish way because my favorite thing about Hanukkah is the potato pancakes, because they're delicious. But, you know, you put any kind of potato in oil, it's hard to go wrong. Kids love it because we do give a gift every single night. It's supposed to be money, and based on what I understand, it's money that's supposed to be given to kids in exchange for doing good deeds, so, you know, bribes. But it's turned into presents every day, probably because of Christmas. I don't know. I just know that I loved it because of the presents. And, we'll give presents to our son, and I won't get any presents because I'm an adult, which sucks. We also have a game with a dreidel, and it's technically a betting game. You spin the dreidel round and round, and you say, it's going to land on this, and if you get it right, you win something. Kids get dreidels, they spin them, and you sing songs like, oh, dreidel, 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 I made it out of clay, but when it's dry and ready, oh, dreidel, I will play. But most dreidels are made out of plastic. But I guess they used to be made out of clay, but most kids are far too lazy. In my day, we used to make our dreidels out of clay, but now the kids, they expect the plastic dreidels because they just don't have the work ethic that we did when we were younger. We made all of our dreidels out of clay. That's not true. I've never made a clay dreidel in my life. Always plastic or wooden. And the other thing that kids get is chocolate money. Because money revolves around this holiday. I don't know why. I'm not sure that it helps to perpetuate the stereotype of Jews and money. But anyways, the point is that it's Chanukah coming up. It's a nice holiday. It's not one of the major holidays. It's become more important because this is the Christmas time of year, and because when Santa's flying over all the Christian children's homes, they're skipping all the Jewish homes, which makes Jewish children sad. So I think it's become commodified to ensure that the Jewish kids don't feel left out, which, makes some sense. If you like this video, click like and subscribe to my channel for more great content like this. Happy Hanukkah coming up. And goodbye, I love you. Well, we don't know.